coffee. But right now, I can only have it every other day because I have lymphocytic colitis. Hi there, and welcome to my chronic illness journey. My name is Shea McIntosh Ford, and I live in Tulsa with my husband, our 2 boys, and our little puppy. I was diagnosed with lymphocytic colitis following my bout with COVID-19. My diagnosis came last April, but I had COVID-19 in March of 2020. This is a vlog about how lymphocytic colitis affects my day-to-day life. I record what I eat and when. I don't record what I drink because it's just water and beef bone broth. I do drink coffee, but it's only 1 teacup every other day. I miss the days when I could drink a whole pot just for the morning and then a whole pot for the evening. That is not in my life anymore. And the only other thing I drink is a glass of wine whenever I have pain and I don't feel like I can go to sleep without it. And because colitis is an irritable bowel disease, I will talk about when I go to the bathroom, because it can be more than once a day. But it's a lot better now than it was when I didn't have a diagnosis. I was going 6 times a day. I've heard of some people going 20 times a day or more. Fortunately, I wasn't quite that bad. Every time I do have a bad trip to the bathroom, I take the Target brand of Imodium and Pepto-Bismol, the tablets. I would show you the boxes, but they keep getting blown out. The Target brand Pepto-Bismol, bismuth. Because I don't eat anything sweet, I'm primarily on a carnivore diet. The bismuth I find a little bit sweet. I always rename it a new dessert. It's my little joke. What has helped me most is my diet. It most certainly matters, and I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. And if you suffer from colitis, I hope that anything that I share here will help you to figure out what might work for you too. Everything I eat, I will, if there's a recipe, like if it's not something that I just made up, because some things I do, if there's a recipe I can link to, I will link it down below. Bear in mind, however, some of the recipes I only use as a cooking guide for my Instant Pot. I never add spices or vegetables or anything like that. It's basically meat, water, and salt. And with that said, here's my week. Good morning. Got my beef heart in the ghee butter. I'm gonna skip the coffee. Leo wanted to go to Oklahoma City just to kind of get out, though they're in Wichita right now. So I thought that it would be easier not to have to drag my coffee, my grinder, and my machine with us. So I'm gonna go without the coffee right now. I'm still doing the ghee butter. I realized too that I have a ton of ghee butter. I forgot that I was going to try to cut it out, and I bought more. So I think it's the coffee, and maybe I can have coffee every other day. I'm gonna eat, and the plan is after I'm done eating, I have to hand wash those stupid dishes. The issue we had with the dishwasher, it wasn't the dishwasher, it was hubby tried to make a makeshift air freshener for the closet. He poured fabric softener in a little bowl, and then it just didn't really work, so he just poured it out. Didn't really clean out the little bowl. It was like just a little Tupperware bowl, and then he cleaned it out, but he didn't get rid of it all. And it ended up in the dishwasher. When we ran the dishes, I pulled them out and they were all sticky and covered in a film. And 3 runnings of that dishwasher did not get them clean. So now I have to hand wash those dishes. So I'm gonna eat, wash the dishes, and then sit back and watch something on the VR until they get back. And I did have my wine last night. I have another bottle because I wasn't sure if I was going to Wichita and if I would need a second bottle or not. I didn't think I would, but you know, it was just in case. And so I don't know if I'm gonna need it. All right, time for dinner, and since it's Sunday, got liver. It's a little bit too much, I think, but the way the slices came out, it was about half, maybe a little more than half. But yeah, that's why I didn't have liver for breakfast, because I'm still eating up that beef heart. Of course, I don't eat beef heart too close to bedtime, because then it's hard to fall asleep because it's got so many B vitamins in it. So far, so good. No other issues. You know, still a little crampy today, but it's not bad. Leo and the boys got home this afternoon, and I spent most of my afternoon teaching them how to use the VR. I miss my coffee. Came this close to making some. I've had a headache, a little bit of a headache today, so I took some Tylenol, or acetaminophen. Good morning. I did not need wine last night, but it is time for breakfast. So this is the beef heart and the ghee butter, and I'm going to be doing coffee every other day, and I filled it kind of full. Oops, I just put a little bit too much water in the coffee maker because I only brew the 1 cup. I don't know that I need it, but I would benefit from the extra potassium and magnesium from the coffee. It's just the other stuff that I don't need, apparently. Maybe all of this in moderation. Maybe that flare last week was like a fluke. Maybe I'm okay with just a little bit of ghee and coffee. We'll try it, because I really like my ghee and coffee. Incidentally, a couple years ago, William was in the hospital for flu A, like really bad flu A. They didn't have anything that I could eat because there was nothing. I think there was a few like snacks that were gluten-free, but they didn't really have any food that was gluten-free. And at the time I was on keto. That was before COVID. Breakfast, my whole meal that day was coffee with ghee butter. Couldn't eat anything, but I needed the fats to keep my energy up. That was what I had. I think I went to the store and bought like a can of sardines or something like that. I would hate to think of what I would end up eating if I ever had to stay in a hospital for any length of time, because they would force vegetables on me because of federal funding. I wouldn't be able to eat them. Here we go. Every once in a while, I get these really brief cravings for things I haven't had for years. This morning I had like a 2-second craving for, I don't know if it was a craving, more that I just could sort of sense a kind of a whiff of it maybe, or I don't know. But it was breakfast cereal, like Fruit Loops, which might as well be dessert for breakfast. So much sugar in that stuff. We'll call this one Fruit Loops. I don't have a lot of pain. I do have some belly noise. I'm getting ready to get my beef heart ready. I don't want to eat the beef heart too late. I want to say before, like around 6 o'clock. So maybe another hour and a half. I don't know if I have a glass of wine in my future or not. It depends, I guess, on how I feel after I'm done eating. It's not as bad as last week. I did get a bit stressed out yesterday. Charlie threw a fit because the new VR system had Beat Saber on it and didn't have the music he wanted, and so he doesn't get to play it. So here's my dinner, beef heart and ghee butter. This is actually the last of it. It's a little bit more than I normally would put in, almost 6 ounces of protein, but I didn't want to have to do the same thing I did last time. It's a little later than I meant to eat, but I was chatting with my mom. But yeah, so this is dinner and nothing else so far. I am still in my PJs and I'm whispering because it's so early. I had a glass of wine last night because I was crampy. It wasn't terrible. I might have been able to fall asleep without it, but I didn't want to lay there trying to figure it out. And then about 2:30 this morning, I woke up with some really severe nausea. So I went to the bathroom thinking I was going to have to go, because usually that's what that means, is the big D. And nothing. And I sat there for probably half an hour waiting and nothing happened. Finally the nausea subsided enough that I thought, well, I could probably go back to sleep. And then I woke up this morning and yeah. It wasn't like horribly watery, but not normal. So that's why I'm up this early in my PJs talking to you. This is what we're currently calling depression cookies. That's what they've always been called. And you might not know what a depression cookie is. My great-grandmother came up with them during the Great Depression, and I'm not going to explain it because my mom's thinking of trying to monetize it because they're actually really good. But they have Ritz crackers in them because Ritz crackers started out in the Great Depression in 1934, and we've tried other crackers, but it's not the same without the Ritz crackers, so she has to probably contact Ritz and figure that out. Anyway, this is a depression cookie. I can't explain it. There's something about the salty sweet with the Ritz crackers that is really good. And I will never be able to eat another one again. Not without severe problems later. One time hubby ate a Ritz cracker. This was when I first was going gluten-free. and I went to give him a peck on the lips, and as I walked away, I could taste the salt, and sure enough, I had a reaction to it. A whole Ritz cracker? No, not gonna happen. We want to rename them because we don't want them to be called depression cookies. It's kind of a negative name. I was thinking of Goodman cookies because that was my great-grandma Goodman. All right, first meal of the day is beef tongue. I was kind of hungry because I procrastinated with my cooking. So now I'm kind of hungry because it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The second part of the beef tongue is kind of small. I might have it for later if I'm hungry enough. No other issues just now. Hopefully that was it. Oh, and no coffee. Today's my off coffee day. I'll have coffee tomorrow. So I decided not to eat tonight. I'm not feeling the greatest since about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I want to say, maybe 2:30. I went to Target. It was right after I finished eating the beef tongue, but I didn't start feeling like after the beef tongue, my belly was really noisy. I thought I was gonna have to go, but I never did. But when I was walking through Target, that's really when I started feeling some pain in my belly, and I think maybe I was walking too fast. I also had a bit of a headache, so I took some acetaminophen. And I'm just not hungry tonight, just the one meal. I'm probably gonna have wine before I go to sleep so that I can fall asleep. I've got some beef broth that's got a little piece of protein in it. I'm just not feeling all that great tonight. And I'm really tired, like 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm like struggling to keep my eyes open, ready to go to bed. I'm probably gonna go to bed early tonight. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and that means liver for breakfast. This is my coffee day. Love it. I got a lot of sleep last night, so I'm feeling a little better. Hopefully no issues today. All right, I'm gonna have dinner, the rest of the beef tongue. So far so good today. I'm a little nauseous at the moment, but I was playing around with the VR earlier. Hopefully I won't need any wine tonight. Good morning. I did not think my meals through very well today. Today I am making bone broth. It is currently in the pressure cooker. I got started at 9 this morning instead of 2 in the afternoon, so hopefully I won't be up till 11 at night. I shouldn't be. The way I had thawed out all my meat in the refrigerator, I had set it up so that I would have the ground lamb thawed out for making my bone broth bits mixed in with the ground lamb, forgetting that it takes about 6 hours to make bone broth. I'm gonna have to wait. I mean, I could just go ahead and brown up the ground lamb and just eat that with the ghee butter, but today is a non-coffee day. I can wait. I still have 1 jar left of the original bone broth. And if you're doing the math, the reason why it's not that I might have skipped 1 day of drinking bone broth. I had jars from when I made oxtail too. That's why there's a little extra. I already had one earlier this morning. I might be able to get away with just waiting, but if I feel like I need to, I'll just drink that last jar of bone broth and I'll be all right. It's got a little layer of fat in it, so that'll give me a little bit of energy. So far, I haven't had to go to the bathroom at all. I have had some cramping though, just mild cramping. Though it actually woke me up about 4:30 this morning, and I had a little hard time falling back asleep, but it's not bad. I didn't need wine last night, so that's good. So wait and see. It is finally time for my first meal of the day. Better late than never, right? I did end up drinking the 2 jars of bone broth that I had left, and that was enough, to tide me over. The nice thing about eating like this is that you never get hangry. Like before keto, I would not cook. If I was hungry and be like, no, I'm gonna grab the first thing I can think of to eat that's gluten-free, because that was all I was worried about at the time was gluten. And then when I cut out all the sugar and processed foods, and started eating low carb, high fat, that fixed it. It was a leptin resistance problem that I had. So now, even when I'm hungry, I can still wait 2 or 3, 4, 5 hours and, be okay. This is my first meal of the day, and obviously it's going to be my only meal of the day. After this, I'm going to be full. It's ground lamb with the leftover meat and fatty bits from the bone broth. And I forgot to say, I was thinking of this joke all afternoon. So you remember how the last time I made bone broth, when I showed it to you, I had 3 big bones in the pan, right? When I order it, it comes by weight. Each bag should weigh about the same. Well, today's bag had this in it. All morning I kept thinking of the Forrest Gump line, you know, Mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Well, I can't eat chocolate. Life is like ordering a bag of bones. You'll never know what you're gonna get. While this is cooling too, I wanted to show you, this is a few episodes ago. I was in the closet and I was talking about how a lot of my clothes are too big. This is one of them. So this shirt is large. I bought this maybe 6 months before I went on keto. It's like super loose now. So it's a huge shirt. Part of me doesn't want to get rid of it because I paid a lot of money for it. This is what I used to look like, and it fit me then, but it's a little too big, and I wear it sometimes, but I think I'm ready to get rid of it, which is sad. I kind of like the shirt. I just don't like that it's too big on me. I wish I had a smaller size. So that was my normal helping of the ground meat with the beef bone broth bits. It's such a tongue twister, but it felt like a lot as I was eating it. It felt hard to finish, like I was eating too much, and it might have been because I waited so long to eat, but whatever the case is, I'm a little on the crampy side. Not real bad. I do feel like I've got to go, but I tried to go and it wasn't coming, and that's what's frustrating. Sometimes my body makes me wait until I absolutely have to go. I hate that. Hopefully it's not in the middle of the night. Because of the bit of cramping, I think I'm just gonna have to go with a glass of wine in order to fall asleep tonight. Maybe I'll be able to go tomorrow and all the cramping will be over. I hope. Anyway, good night. Good morning. I have my ground lamb with ghee butter and leftover bone broth bits. Today's coffee day. So I did have the wine last night. I did have a BM, but that was about 6:15 this morning, and it was almost normal. So I didn't take anything for it, and I didn't record because everyone was still asleep and I didn't want to wake anybody up. So far I'm feeling okay. I'm actually feeling a little better. Just when I thought I was going to take the boys to Costco, I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow. It's my granny's punch bowl cake. Not a lot of pain, just rather uncomfortable. Good morning. It's New Year's Day. I got my microphone close because I can't talk too loud. I'm still in my PJs. I have bedhead, so instead of bothering to brush my hair, I'll just put on a hat. But I'm hungry because I only had the one meal yesterday. So this is the lamb with beef bone broth and ghee butter. The broth bits, rather. I did not stay up late. I woke up at midnight because Leo and the boys went outside to look at fireworks, and Scout started flipping out about it. She woke me up, but everybody's still asleep except William. Everything else was fine yesterday. I was still crampy at bedtime, so I had a glass of wine. But yeah, I've been up for hours. I can't stay up for New Year's Eve. Not gonna happen anymore. I actually feel pretty good today. Here we go. It was just a teeny little bit, but it wasn't normal. A payday. I haven't had a payday in a long time. There's a lot I haven't had in a long time. But I remember I liked paydays. Time for dinner. Second meal of the day. So this time, this is bison, ground bison, and the beef bone broth bits with ghee butter. So far so good. Haven't had any more issues. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna need wine tonight, which is nice to be able to go to sleep without that. And I think I will leave it here. If anything else comes up tonight, I'll mention it at the beginning of the next episode. I hope I've helped you. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye. But it's only 1 teacup every other day. It's okay. I'm gonna stop rambling because I never know how long these are if I ramble too much.